Anything can happen. A bench player becomes a starter, then an all-star, then perhaps a batting champion, and maybe even an MVP. Last year's Ace has 5 wins, and yet his team is on the doorstep of the playoffs. And after being 6 games under in April, the Pirates are 15 over since. Impossible? Well, not if you're doing it, which is exactly what the Pirates are doing.
Welcome to another T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. The autumn wind is a pirate, and tonight, Pittsburgh back at PNC Park to start a 3-game series with the defending world champion Boston Red Sox. It is game 1 of a 3-game set. Let's check the Central Division and the wild card standings right now. The Pirates 3.5 behind the division-leading Cardinals, and just 2.5 in back of the Giants for that top wild card spot. And hi again, everyone, with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Ince-Mikowski is with us as well. And Bob Clint Hurdle wanting to get Charlie Morton back on the mound to see if he can help this team down the stretch and possibly in the playoffs. He's been battling a sports hernia. Hasn't started since mid-August. So Charlie Morton back on the hill.
Well, one of the things we've seen out of Charlie over the years is when he is at his best, he can shut down anybody. He's about as good as we can run out there. And that curveball that he's been developing is turned into a great strikeout weapon for him. And he can still do this. He can throw the sinker and he can get the ground balls. So I understand completely that they want to see if Charlie is healthy. And if he is and he's throwing the ball where he wants to, he can be very effective for the postseason.
Vance Worley, whose normal spot it is in the rotation tonight, waiting in the wings in case he needs to piggyback this start. See the last start for Charlie on the 15th of August. This season at home 3-4, 0-3 against the American League in 3 starts this season. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Shortstop Jordy Mercer, a late scratch tonight, experiencing some back tightness. So Clint Barmas takes his spot in the lineup, playing shortstop and batting 8th. As we count you down to the first pitch, the Pirates begin the final stretch of games in the regular season. 13 games in 13 days, wrapping up at the end of the month. The Bucks get back at it with the BOS Sox tonight here at PNC Park.
America's import. By Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank. Know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. Let's go, Bucs.
Groundchuck taking the field for his first start in a little over a month for the Pirates. Charlie Morton looking to produce some ground ball outs in this ball game tonight. John Farrell, the manager of the Boston Red Sox, he writes his lineup like this tonight. Rookie Mookie Betts will lead off, play second base, then Xander Bogaerts in 14 games this month, hitting .368 for Boston with 8 extra base hits and 11 runs batted in. Daniel Nava had a grand slam on Sunday. Yoenis Cespedes is in left field. Mike Napoli at first base. Will Middlebrooks at third. Jackie Bradley Jr., the center fielder. Christian Vasquez behind the plate tonight. And the pitcher is right-hander Anthony Renato taking on Charlie.
Hey, take a look at Charlie's numbers. The thing that I think we should look at with Charlie early in this ball game, because it's been so long since he's been out there, is what is that control like in an atmosphere where the adrenaline is pumping, pennant race, because they haven't been able to really duplicate that, trying to get him ready for this start. So how is he going to react to that? Will he have that good control of both the sinker and the curveball? We'll have to watch and see.
So the first batter, Mookie Betts, getting set to stand in. 21 years of age. Looking out at Charlie in the first pitch of the ball game. In for a strike. Well, 0-1 is the count to Betts. 289 hitter. And he takes another strike, and it's 0-2. Cliff Barmas making the start at shortstop, and he has not had a lot of action. His last activity, it was the 5th of September, so 11 days ago was the last time he appeared in a game.
A lot of times when you have a sinker baller out on the mound, the last thing you want is your starting shortstop to miss the game. But when you got a guy like Barmas on the bench, not so bad. He is an excellent glove man, as we know.
Charlie's 1-2 to Betts. Ground ball to third. Backhanded by Jay Hay, and there's one down. The Pirates defensively are brought to us tonight by Volvo. In the outfield, Starling Marte back out there. Andrew McCutchen at center, Travis Snyder in right, see Barmas at short, Mike Davis over at first, and Russell Martin completing the battery with Charlie Morton. So Starling Marte feeling well enough to start. Last Thursday, hit on the elbow by an A.J. Burnett pitch in Philadelphia. Missed a little bit of time. Came back 2 days ago. Came off the bench to play against the Cubs, and now starting again here tonight. Xander Bogaerts takes a strike. Travis Snyder moves from left field back out to right field with Marte in the lineup. This ball sliced out of play down the right field side, and it's 0-2 to Xander Bogaerts. .240 the average there. 12 home runs for Bogaerts. Went 3 for 4 on Sunday against Kansas City. Had a 3-run home run. 3 home runs in his last 6 games. Pulls this one foul.
Well, so far, Charlie's looking good control-wise.
I know that was one of the keys you were looking at for tonight.
Well, it hasn't been very many pitches. You only thrown 7 pitches so far, but still, I mean, early on, that's one of the things that I wanted to look at was, he's getting the ball where he wants to, especially that curveball. Good spot for that pitch on 0-2 count. Down, bounce it right in front of the glove.
Charlie with a sports hernia, pitching through that. He had a rehab start at Altoona, then the minor league season's ended. He's had 2 simulated games since, including one in Philadelphia last week. That was the last time he pitched. And the one thing that Charlie has had an issue with the sports hernia is if he gets a little deeper into his outing, it's the sitting down between innings where it starts to bother him. 1-2, he got him swinging. 2 men out for the Red Sox.
Real nice hook. He's ahead in the count with 2 strikes. He wants to mess with this curveball and get a chase. And that's exactly what happened.
Bogart's back to the dugout, 0 for 1. Charlie will face Daniel Nava, the right fielder. Nava hit his second career grand slam on Sunday at Kansas City. And his first one was on the 12th of June of 2010. Came up with the bases loaded as a rookie, saw the first pitch of his big league career and hit it out. It was against the Phillies in an interleague game. 0-1. Pitch up high to Nava. 1 ball, 1 strike. So as well as Starling Marte's career started, hitting the first pitch he ever saw out against the Houston Astros, Nava might have got him one better because the bases were loaded when he did it.
Well, look at that Red Sox stat. 195 average off breaking balls. We'll probably see a lot of curves, I would imagine, from Charlie tonight. That's got to be a big part of that scouting report that they went over with him before the game.
And Nava pulls this one to the right field corner. Snyder will play it off the wall. Guns it in towards second base, and Nava in sliding with a 2-out double.
That was the fastball that he ripped down the line, not the curveball. Red Sox, their offense really down from last year, and looking at those curveball numbers, that's got to be a big part of it for them. They're just not hitting the off speed, the breaking ball this year. That was a sinker that got up, not where Charlie wanted it.
Double number 19 for Nava. 2-out extra base hit for the Red Sox. They've got a man at second base. And Yoenis Cespedes, the former Oakland Athletic, joined the Red Sox on the 2nd of August from Oakland. He takes a strike. And since the A's made the trade, they went from first place to watching the Angels fly right past them. Oakland was very aggressive in the trade market early. It hasn't worked out as they had hoped. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cespedes. 10.5 behind the Angels. The Angels have clinched a playoff spot and very soon will clinch the division. Cespedes was a big part of the swinging A's, but now here with Boston and Boston's rebuilding project. One pitch. Fouled off. In fact, tomorrow, Cespedes will be joined by a fellow countryman from Cuba, Rusney Castillo, who the Red Sox signed to a 7-year, $74 million contract. In spite of the fact he hadn't played in a while. A year and a half he hadn't played organized baseball, and then he's played just 10 games of pro ball. He'll join the team tomorrow and start in center field, we understand. And a 1-2 pitch. And Cespedes out on strikes. He'll give himself up. Russell will tag him. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Charlie Morton. Red Sox leave a man. Pirates coming to bat when we return. Bottom of the first inning. Josh Harrison set to lead off as we check our Toyota starting lineup. It'll be Harrison leading off. Then Travis Snyder and Andrew McCutchen in the 3-spot career versus the American League, a .389 hitter with 19 extra base hits and 32 RBIs in 47 interleague games. Neil Walker bats cleanup. Russell Martin 5th. Starling Marte in the 6th spot. Ike Davis will hit 7th and play first. Parnas is in the 8th spot with Charlie Morton batting 9th against rookie Anthony Renato.
Not a lot of innings to really know exactly what kind of a pitcher that Renato is going to be, but he throws a ton of fastballs so far. Not a real hard, overpowering fastball, though. And he has given up 8 home runs in just the 26 2/3 innings. That is what I think we're looking for tonight. Fastballs and home runs. The league so far hitting over 300 off that fastball.
Renato set to go to Harrison, the 0-1 pitch. Josh takes the ball 1-1. Renato is out of Jackson, New Jersey. Went to LSU, winning a College World Series championship there in 2009. Outside, and it's now 2-1. In fact, Renato was the winning pitcher in the clinching game of the College World Series for the Tigers. There's the wind of the 2-1. And Harrison lifts this one high to right center field, but Nava has a beat on it. 1 out.
That might be a little taste of things to come. A well struck ball to the outfield.
I hope so. The Pirates need to continue to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's been part of their recipe for success this year.
Now looking at his fastball so far, just with one hitter, he does definitely like to elevate it a little bit. Not a ton of movement, and just average velocity.
Snyder, first ball swinging, pops it up out of play, foul. Strike 1 to Travis. This guy made the catch when he's on the phone, I guess. Must have been an important call.
He could do his own play-by-play that way.
There you go. Pitch outside, maybe a little high to Travis. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Surprised that he would have his glove on in the phone. Yeah, I think he took his glove off to make the phone call. One-hand dialer, I
guess so. Speed dial.
Yeah, it could be one of those newfangled phones you just talk to. Say, call home.
Maybe it had a foul ball catching app on it.
He's talking on the phone.
Yeah, just caught a foul ball. Hang on a sec. Let me put you on hold while I catch this foul ball. 2-2 to Snyder. Now he needs call waiting because people are calling him saying, hey, I just saw what you did. Bottom of the first inning, no score, just underway. First of a 3-game interleague set with Boston. 2-2 pitch. These two teams first met in the 1903 World Series. It was a best-of-9 series then. Charlie Morton, pretty good start so far. 2 strikeouts. Did give up the double to Nava, but it didn't amount to anything. 2-2 to Travis. This one is pulled and a diving stop by Napoli. Terrific play by the Red Sox first baseman to rob a hit from Travis Snyder.
Yeah, hit, probably an extra base hit. Playing him to pull anyway. Just a couple of steps and a dive from the chalk, and that's what it did. 2 steps. Cole made the play.
It didn't take Napoli long to get dirty. Now Andrew McCutchen batting .310. Red Sox playing with 3 infielders on the left side, and he fouls this one back. No balls and 1 strike. See how the Sox have shifted on him. Napoli alone on the right side of the infield. .23 home runs and 75 runs batted in. Fouls this one back. Now all of a sudden he's got a friend. Huh.
That's just, when you're popular, you're popular.
Foul balls are like magnets, I guess. Exchanging info, it looked like. 0-2 coming to Andrew. That's up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Very pleasant night here. 66 degrees at game time as we start the back half of the month of September. 2-2. Anthony Renato pitching to Andrew McCutchen. Gorgeous night here in the Berg. We've been very lucky a number of these nights recently. And the 2-2 pitch on the way from Renato to Kutch. To left field. Right at Cespedes. And the Pirates are gone and ordered in the first. And in the second, no score. All right, thank you very much, Rob. Charlie Morton facing Mike Napoli, the first baseman. He delivers ball 1. Napoli is a .250 hitter for Boston. 17 home runs, 55 knocked in. Here's the pitch. Strike call. It's 1-1. So ground chuck, pretty good first inning, despite giving up the double to Daniel Nava. down low, 2-1. Last October, and starting in really August through September, the way the Red Sox were running last year, the beard was kind of the thing. I mean, they looked like beehives or cough drop box covers in Napoli's case, but he's got to trim down some, believe it or not, compared to where it was a year ago. And the Red Sox not really doing that beard thing anymore.
Seems like there's probably more beards though around baseball than this year, last year, than in a long time. Becoming very popular.
Yep. David Ross, he's got a couple days stubble going there.
A little silver there in front.
David had a little bit of time with the Pirates. Backup catcher tonight. 2-2. Bouncer toward third. That's just foul.
Charlie looking pretty good
so far. It's a thing I think everybody wanted to see. See what they have with Charlie.
Well, as we were talking about in the open, it's when he is on throwing the ball the way he's capable of, basically throwing strikes, getting ahead of hitters. We've seen him just dominate teams with ground balls and strikeouts, and he certainly has thrown plenty of strikes tonight. So far, it's early.
Well, after his last simulated game in Philadelphia last week, the staff was pretty happy with what they saw from Charlie. The ball was coming out of his hand well. He was making all of his pitches. Seemed to be okay in terms of the between innings stuff. Just missed on the corner. And Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, calls it ball 3. Just a little bit off the plate. And Mike is the crew chief. Well, Napoli giving Charlie all he can handle right now. He will have at least a 10 pitch at bat. Charlie
trying to wear him down.
Throws 10th pitch to Napoli next. Three-two. Poked down the right field line and out of play. Charlie has thrown a third of the pitches he has delivered in this game to Mike Napoli. And he'll get another one.
Very frustrating pitching to a guy like Napoli, and he just keeps fouling him off. You know he's eating into your pitch count.
3-2. And a ground ball to second base. Walker's got it. Cost Napoli a bat after all of that. So
he makes you feel better.
Yeah. At least Charlie broke the bat. Most popular way to follow the Pirates' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. So 1 out for Boston in the top half of the second inning. Will Middlebrooks, third baseman, up now. Strike called to Middlebrooks. Well, Boston leads Major League Baseball in pitches per plate appearance. They see just a little bit over 4 pitches per plate appearance. Napoli, who we just saw, showed us why he leads the team with 4.5 pitches per plate appearance. And Middlebrooks behind in the count 0-2. But Napoli will stay at the plate a long time.
Good sinker. Look at the location. And when you have a club like that, take advantage of it. They'll start out 0-1, 0-2 if they want to take. Let them. Hopefully they'll take 3.
1-2 the count. 1 out, bases empty. Middlebrooks at the plate. And he strikes out. Third strikeout for Charlie Morton.
No problems with anything Charlie's doing so far. The sinker, look at the late movement. Ball just slips right down. Look at the sink go down right underneath the bat. Beautiful pitch. Good command of that and the curveball.
Charlie Morton so far is 5 for 6 in first pitch strikes.
Doesn't look like he's been off for over a month.
No, 6 for 7 in first pitch strikes as he gets ahead of Jackie Bradley Jr., the center fielder.
It's like he's right in rhythm. Like he's been pitching every 5th day.
Tapper foul, and he's ahead 0-2. That's the key, though. You got to feel confident if you're Charlie getting ahead 0-1, 0-2 all the time. 0-2 to Bradley. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Waste pitch upstairs. Charlie didn't do that very often.
Just 207 this year in 119 games. Fouls it off. We saw him a lot in spring training. Pirates and Red Sox, 2 teams that do see each other often in Florida before the season begins. Get familiar with some of the players starting in February throughout the month of March. 1-2.
Yeah, March, I feel like we're part of the American League East.
It's because we are. Every team in the East the Pirates play.
All right around us.
A lot of folks travel and see the Red Sox. Although it's been a little easier this year at Fenway Park to get a ticket than in years past. And McCutchen on the run, calls for it. And a running can of corn. 3 up, 3 down for Boston through an inning and a half. No score.
To you by 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. By the Chevy Sun and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
No score as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning in Pittsburgh. Pirates and Red Sox, game 1 of a 3-game series. Neil Walker will lead things off for the Buccos in the bottom of the 2nd against Anthony Ronaldo. That pitch outside for a ball. Walker hitting .279. Parrott supervising the festivities tonight, making sure it all goes well. It's 2-0. Walker, a career best 20 home runs. He has more home runs than any Pirate middle infielder in a single season.
Well, it should go well tonight, the way Charlie's pitching right now, and this young man out on the mound that hasn't been all that successful to this point.
Renato had success in the minor leagues this year. He was the 2014 International League Most Valuable Pitcher, pitching with the Pawtucket Red Sox. Had 14 wins in AAA. He also led the league in ERA, 2.61, and in lowest opponent batting average at 2.23. Three balls and one strike. Now the pitch to Neal. Popped it up. And this one drifting back toward the seats. It is into the seats. Strike two. Well, we talked about March. These are the guys we saw in March in Red Sox uniforms. John Lester, Jake Peavy, John Lackey, Felix Dubron. We just saw Dubron with the Cubs. Seen Lackey pitch, seen Peavy pitch. And now they're all elsewhere as the Red Sox traded and realized that they need to have a bit of a rebuilding program here. Yoenis Cespedes for John Lester. That was the trade. Neil Walker is aboard. First Pirate base runner.
Well, you have to hand it to the Red Sox. They were, realized that their season was going nowhere, and they needed to do something for next season. So they got an early start on it and started moving those older starting pitchers. When we were on the last road trip, we were in Philadelphia talking about how the Phillies really didn't do anything like that, and that's something that everybody thinks they need to.
Martin hits one high and deep. Goodbye. Russell Martin, a two-run homer, and the Pirates strike first.
Number 9 that Renato's given up. Less than 30 innings, 9 home runs. Wow.
Russ continues his hot season. Home run number 10, RBIs 62 and 63. And raises his batting average up from 295. It is in French right now in the dugout. Oui. Yes, yes, yes. So the Bucks on the board first. There's another one of your keys, Bob. Go deep.
Well, that was the easy one. I was just following the trend. He gives up a ton of home runs, or has so far, and our guys can hit them. Another one of those high fastballs. To be successful pitching up there with your fastball, you need one of two things: either that deceptive quickness that we talk about all the time, where fastball plays harder than it really is, or you got to be just one of those real hard throwers that can throw the ball 97, 98. Otherwise, if you don't have one of those two things, you're going to give up a lot of home runs. You throw those fastballs up, out, over the plate.
Marte, chopper toward third. Millbrooks, no chance. A base hit for Starling Marte. Infield single for Starling. And what speed can do for you.
Well, Marte, he hits the ball so hard that you got to try and give him some ground over at third base in respect of that. And when he chops one like this, forget it. You're not going to throw him out, even if he looks 3 times. He's been hitting the ball so well over the last 6 weeks. That just ripping the ball, leading the league in OPS. That you got to respect that if you're playing third. You don't want to come and play on the edge of the grass and have him undress you with a short hop. So you give him some room, and then with that speed of his, he turns those balls into a base hit.
Starling Marte with 26 stolen bases. He's the leading stolen base man on the ball club. Pitch to Ike Davis. Ball 1 to Ike. Russell Martin with a 2-run homer after the leadoff walk. Now Marte an infield single. 72% of the time he'll swipe a base successfully. Christian Vasquez starting behind the plate tonight. One and one to Davis. Andrew Lambeau had been seeing some time at first base recently with the left-handed bat. Now Ike back in the lineup here tonight. Nobody out, 1 man on, a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. In the dirt, there goes Marte, and he'll be safe standing.
Doesn't take much. Yeah, that ball just, it was a good block. He's laying right there, but it doesn't matter with Marte. Got quick. He just about 5 quick steps, and then he was already shutting it down because he knew that there was going to be no chance.
In the dirt again. 3-1 to Davis. Nice to see Ike get hot again. He's had periods of time where he'd put together multi-hit games, and lately things have cooled down for him. He's just 0 for his last 4. He had 1 at bat on Saturday and struck out. 3-1 from Renato. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning.
That ball 4, and he missed badly with it. And another thing that you can look at for the young guys is how quickly they can become afraid of the bat, afraid of contact, trying to hit corners, trying to strike everybody out, and then you get the base on balls. You get the 3-1 counts, the 2-0 counts because of that. And then it just snowballs, and before you know it, it's the 3rd inning and you're in the clubhouse.
Juan Niema is the pitching coach for Boston. Well, Clint Barmes will come to the plate now to face Renato. Since June 20th, Barmes has played just 18 innings at shortstop. Had a left groin strain on the 26th of August was his last start at short, the day after he got back from the DL. Spent considerable time on the disabled list recuperating, and back and ready to go. The veteran infielder with a 1-0 count. First and second, and nobody out in the Pirates' half of the second inning. 2-0 Bucks. Barnes in the air to shallow left center field. And that ball is going to be caught by Cespedes.
Looked like for a moment there nobody was taking charge.
Cespedes came in late. Figure this might be the center fielder's ball.
Yeah, that's like right about now. It's like, who's going to call it?
Cespedes records the out. 1 down, and Charlie Morton will be the batter.
Let's see if Charlie can move everybody up 90 feet. Another thing he hasn't had an opportunity to do for a while.
Charlie has 8 sacrifices on the season thus far. Pops it up, but that'll be in the Pirate dugout.
Charlie really took a long time to square around. I mean, everybody knows you're bunting, so go ahead and go ahead and square around, get comfortable.
Charlie and Edinson Volquez each with 8 sacrifices. They lead the pitching staff in sacrifice bunts.
Much earlier, they squared around.
And this one is a line drive out.
That's one of those things that you talk about, replicating the delivery and all that with a sim game. It's awfully hard to do. Another thing it's awfully hard to do is replicate in-game at bats, where you're asked to move a runner. You simply just pop that one up.
So Charlie's out, and he'll get his glove and his hat and get ready to pitch, while Josh Harrison looks to drive in a couple of runs. Harrison is 0 for 1. He flied to right field in the first inning. Ball 1 to Josh. Again, Josh is in front of Justin Morneau of the Rockies. Take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leader stat. Highest average in the National League with runners in scoring position. Russell Martin and Josh Harrison 2 and 3 behind Pence, and sandwiched between Pence and Posey of the Giants. But Justin Morneau injured with an intercostal strain. He's been sitting at 315. And Harrison trying to stay above him. Buster Posey to start the night is just about even with McCutchen. Posey at 311, McCutchen 310. Balls and a strike to J-Head. Well, Bob, if you're in a pennant race, you got to play a team like Boston, much like the Cubs, a team that is doing some rebuilding. Is it tougher to play with the younger guys up here getting an opportunity? Guys that are hungry, trying to make their way in September sometimes?
Well, I would say no. I would much rather face Renato than a established big league pitcher for sure. I mean, here's a young guy that throws a lot of home runs. I want this guy in the lineup.
J-Hay down to third. Middlebrooks has it. They'll go the short way to get the force out. Pirates with 2 runs. Russell Martin with a home run. Russ now with double-digit home runs in 7 of his last 9 seasons. Home run number 10 for Super Russ. And it's 2-0 Pirates.
awards. It was Tyler Glasnow for the second consecutive year, winning the Pitcher of the Year award, and for the first time, Josh Bell won the Pirates Player of the Year award, and we're pleased to be joined by both guys, hanging out, watching some baseball here on the field where they're going to be playing. Hopefully in the next couple of years. Josh, we'll start with you. What does this honor mean to you, just given all the adversity with the injuries and stuff that you've had to face thus far in your young career?
It's an awesome honor. Just working hard this past offseason and really getting after it every day. I was able to put it out on the field this year, and it really showed.
What do you think led to your success on the field and the eventual promotion to Altoona?
It was awesome. It was a great experience, playing the Futures game, and then that very next day getting promoted to AA. It was a great experience, and I had a great time up there.
Josh, you're going to have a new experience, and that's first base. You're going to move from an outfielder to first base. You're getting a crash course right now in the instructional league. Then you'll play it as your primary position in the fall league. What do you feel about that?
It's a great opportunity for me to learn another position. Look at it, Josh Harrison or Brock Holt, and they can play all over the field, and that's the type of player that I'm going to be.
Okay, let's talk to Tyler Glasnow. Tyler, you've been through this before. I'll ask you this. What have you learned about yourself as a player from last year to this year?
Just, I feel like it's been easier for me to go out from start to start and kind of let a bad start go or not really dwell on a good start too much. So I think a big thing was I think I found out just how to be more of a consistent player this year.
You pitched in playoff-type games, and you helped get the Bradenton Marauders into the Florida State League playoffs. What was that experience like pitching in big games?
Oh, I mean, just pitching in the playoffs, there's nothing like it, really. And our team, especially last year and really GCL this year, too, all of us are so close. I mean, some of us are here today, and Josh was on our team, and it was just that experience is something that I'll never forget, and I'm sure it's the same for my teammates.
Now, we talked to you in June. I'll leave you with the one thing. You had a chance to go back home for a week, and the greatest player ever at Hart High School, can you remind us again who that was?
It's Bob Walk.
Statues everywhere, you say, is that right?
Everywhere.
Bob Walk, still a legend there. Congratulations, Josh and Tyler. Two great guys we'll be seeing here on the field pretty soon at PNC Park.
That's right, go hard.
Any truth they're going to name the sidewalk in front of the school Bob Walk?
No, I would imagine that is most untrue, and there's been a lot of better baseball players come along than myself. So,
yeah. Tyler Glasnow's numbers this year: Pitcher of the Year, minor leagues. There's Josh Bell, Player of the Year.
Tyler's going to be the best of all.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. He's got the ability. That's I mean, look at the stats. He has got the talent. He's a machine. And if he can get consistency, and that's what he was talking about down there, then that's going to be the key for him. Once that happens, sky's the limit.
Maybe someday they'll be dedicating a statue in your shrine that they have for you there.
Yeah, a couple of great future Pirates right there. Really, the whole minor league system now is that it's so much better than it was years ago. There's a lot of talent, a lot of help, and that's what the organization needs. Every small market type organization, you have to be able to have the replacement parts when players move on, and the Pirates are having that now. And it's not just your everyday type guy either. You have your star type players that come up, like Garrett Cole, for instance.
Charlie gets the ground ball. Christian Vasquez grounds out on the 3-2 pitch to Neil Walker.
Tony Watson, another one of those homegrown all-star players. Got to have those guys.
Charlie will now face the Red Sox pitcher, Anthony Renato. And he delivers a strike, something that Boston team doesn't often have to do, and that has have their pitcher hit. He is 0 for 3 so far. Normally it is David Ortiz hitting for the pitcher, and he is back with the club. Took BP today after attending to some personal business, and then he is probably going to be a pinch hitter at some point, limited to 1 at bat a game maybe. And there's Big Papi sitting in the dugout. One ball and 2 strikes to Renato. 2-2. Renato, a big guy, 6'7".
He bounces one toward Walker. 2 out. Cheer on the Bucks as they host the Brewers this Saturday at 7:05 in a National League Central showdown. Be sure to stay after the game for a Zambelli fireworks show presented by Yuengling Oktoberfest. Plus, all fans take home a 2015 magnetic schedule, courtesy of PNC Bank. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. Big series with the Brewers. Huge, perhaps. And you got to have that magnetic schedule to put on your refrigerator to look at all winter and pick out the games you're going to come to.
Yeah, Brewers back-to-back big series. They're playing the Cardinals right now. Haven't got underway yet. That's a huge series. And they're going to come here.
1-1 to Mookie Betts. For the Brewers, this next 6-game stretch for them is their season.
And it's going to be really big for us also to see where we're at after these 6 games. Ideally, I'd like to see the Brewers go 3-3. Beat the Cardinals 3 times and lose to us 3 times.
That would be perfect, actually.
that would be ideal.
Yeah. So you see the Buccos' upcoming schedule: Milwaukee, then at Atlanta, and at Cincinnati. The Cardinals have Cincinnati, the Cubs, and Arizona left. Giants, they've got to play the Dodgers again. Pirates just 2.5 behind the Giants for that first wild card spot. You know where the Brewers are.
I'm still hoping that the Brewers can do us some favors and deal with those Cardinals. I refuse to lose hope yet that we can't win this division.
Well, Mookie Betts a 2-out walk. Charlie puts a base runner aboard.
That's really what you want to do. You want to win the division. You want to avoid that one game where, you know, an error, a walk, who knows, something might happen and you're out of the playoffs immediately. Win the division if you can.
There isn't a player in that clubhouse who still isn't focused on the division. Bogarts, ground ball toward Barmes. He charges, and he will not have a play. An infield single for Xander Bogaerts. A 2-out walk to Betts open this up. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Barmes getting there, but
just couldn't get the exchange. I don't know if he had an out at first anyway. It's going to be very iffy.
Bogarts runs well. So Betts at second base, Bogarts at first, and the number 3 hitter in the order, Daniel Nava at the plate. Nava doubled already.
Yeah, he had a high fastball, ripped it down that line. Don't want to throw him that again.
Strike one to Nava.
Well, he did. High fastball. Nothing happened.
Red Sox coming off a weekend series, a 4-game set actually, with the Kansas City Royals. Took 3 of 4 and actually helped Detroit get back into first place in the American League Central. Check swing roller down to third. That's foul for strike 2.
Another high fastball. How about that? I hope they didn't throw him another one. He threw him the first 2 of them. But that is what I'm pretty sure that's what he hit down the line for a double. Pulled down the line for a double. It's a fastball that was elevated.
Let's see if Charlie comes back with a sinker or breaking ball. Also uses a split changeup. But now with no balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out for the Red Sox. Striking out looking. 4 strikeouts for Charlie Morton.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball.
Bottom of the third inning. Pirates leading the Red Sox 2-0 in game one of this three-game set. Along with Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Mikowski with us as well. Glad you're watching Pirates baseball with us tonight. Here's Travis Snyder. He will lead off, followed by Andrew McCutchen and Neil Walker. 2, 3, and 4 in the Pirates order to face Anthony Rinaldo. Snyder is 0 for 1. Napoli robbed him of perhaps a double. First time up as Snyder hit it right down the line, and a diving play by Napoli took the hit away. And a strike call, 1-1. And 1 the count to Snyder. And he rips it down to Napoli again. And Snyder is out. So Napoli using the glove like a backhoe. Got a big glove down there.
Big old first baseman.
That's got some age on it. Broken in very well. 3 unassisted to put on 1 down, and here's McCutchen. Andrew is 0 for 1. He lined out to Yoenis Cespedes in left field in the first. Saw a pretty good pitch to hit. He just hit it flat, I guess. He didn't get under it enough.
I agree.
Touchdown behind 0-2 quickly. One out, base is empty for the reigning National League MVP. This one's popped up back of the plate, well up into the seats. This is the second time since 2011 the Red Sox have played here at PNC Park. They've played here 3 different times since interleague play began. The Pirates have only played at Fenway Park once in 2002. And that is not the Pirate Parrot. That's Wally, the green monster hat that you saw a few moments ago. 0-2 is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wally named after the big wall in left field in Boston. There's Big Papi, named after Big Papi. McCutchen down on strikes. He's 0 for 2. And that's the first strikeout for Rinaldo tonight.
You know, that's another thing about Rinaldo. He doesn't strike out a whole lot of guys. There's that 92 mile an hour, the average velocity fastball. It's on the upper part of the zone. See Hutch kind of making a fist there, not very happy at all about the result of that at bat. Got a pitch up, decent pitch to hit, and he swung right through it.
Strike 1 to Neal. Neal drew a base on balls in the second inning, then got to ride home for free on the Russell Martin home run. .279 his average. Very solid year offensively for Walker. In spite of missing some time. He missed time. He had his appendix out. Took him a little bit to get back, and to get back in the swing of things, started picking up RBIs again. One and 2.
3 straight changeups.
2-2 to Neal.
I don't think Renado's going to be much of a ground ball machine in his career.
He likes to throw it up in the zone, doesn't he?
Sure does.
And Walker fouls it off. Well, the count will stay 2-2 to Neal.
Likes to throw Neal on all the slow stuff. Everybody else will throw mainly fastballs, but Walker's not seeing any. I think just one that he could swing at this at bat. The number 4 pitch was a fastball. That was way upstairs.
Strike 3 call. Neal knew it.
Another changeup.
1-2-3 go the Pirates, and Renado punches out 2. To All-Star and everyday third baseman. A one-man highlight show. Harrison's physical gifts, savvy moves, and unbreakable confidence were once honed by 2 talented older brothers. But now it's his turn to shine. Catch it all on Inside Pirates Baseball. Jay Hay every day. Tomorrow after postgame on Root Sports. 2-0 Pirates. 2 hits apiece. We start the 4th inning on a nice mid-September night. Some long lines. Have you had the shakes, Bob? I mean those shakes.
Oh, those shakes.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to cut down on my coffee. I don't know. I wasn't sure what you were talking about there. No, I didn't know.
I didn't mean these shakes. About this. I meant the
I better get some coffee now.
Yeah, I think you need some now. We're get Bob's staff on that right now.
I got the shakes.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about. Great shakes.
Yeah.
Hamburgers are not bad either.
The sea salt caramel shake, my favorite. There's a pitch inside to Yoenis Cespedes as we start the 4th. A much calmer Bob Walk with us in the booth now. Not shaking at all. 1-0 pitch. It's inside. Vance Worley out in the bullpen tonight. Tonight was his night to start, and he is prepared to come in and pitch behind Charlie Morton. If Charlie gets into any kind of trouble or Pirates feel he's had enough for the night.
Well, right now, he's having the game I think everyone was hoping for. Hanging zeros up on that board.
2-1. Right there, 2-2. Nice pitch. So Vanimal on his regular day's rest. At the moment, resting out in the bullpen, visiting with John Holscomb. Charlie with a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Cespedes. Popped him up foul. That's out of play down the first base side. What does that do to you, Bob, when you are in the rotation? You have to go out to the bullpen. What does that do to your psyche?
I think it depends on the situation. You know, here you're in a pennant race. You've been pitching well. It's not going to bother you a whole lot. You're just doing whatever is for the best for the team right now. And, you know, if you're in one of those situations, though, where, let's say the Red Sox, where they're out of it, and they decide to take you out of the rotation for a while and put somebody else out there, that, you know, might mean that you're not in their plans. So it depends on a lot of different variables, how you're going to feel about it, how you react to it. When you're winning, though, you're always willing to do whatever you're asked, and it's not that big of a deal. And I'm sure that that's what Vance is thinking right now.
Oh, Robbie, you talked to Vance Worley about this subject recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I asked him his reaction when he received the news, and he told me the team was right up front, and they gave him plenty of notice, so it's not like it's something they dropped on him at the last minute. He also said that Charlie Morton is a big reason why the Pirates are currently holding down a playoff spot, so he completely understands. Now, he said if he is called from the bullpen...
Cespedes hits a drive to left field. It's over the head of Marte, bouncing into the seats for a double. Go ahead, Robbie.
So he said... I asked him, you know, what if you do get the call? And he said his key is going to be not to overthink anything. Just go out there and compete. He said, that's the whole reason I'm here, is because I never tried to do too much. Something I tried to do in Minnesota. So now that I'm here, I'm in a good situation. If I do get asked, yeah, it's a little bit unique coming out of the bullpen. But just be myself and try to do like I normally do. And he did say he did his sprints a little earlier in the day as opposed to later in the day that he does on days that he starts. So looks like he's moving around and ready to rock and roll should the call come, Tim.
In the meantime, Cespedes with his 35th double is at second base. Nobody out. Mike Napoli the batter. And now Charlie checking the runner in the pitch. Inside for a ball. Milwaukee and St. Louis just underway from Busch Stadium. We'll be keeping an eye on that ball game for you throughout ours tonight. Scoreboard watching season is in full swing. Breaking ball for a strike.
Well, Charlie, he's been throwing a lot of strikes tonight. But at the same time, with the Red Sox having some long at bats, like the one that Napoli had, pitch count actually starting to kind of get up there a little bit. There's number 74. But 52 of them have been. It's not anything that Charlie's doing. He's trying to pitch to contact. They're just not putting much in play. A lot of foul balls.
Two-one to Mike Napoli from Charlie. And the throw down to second base. Just getting back is Cespedes.
It's an accurate arm, isn't it? I don't know if you could ask for anything more out of your catcher than to put it right there.
He's walked Napoli. 2 on and nobody out for Boston in the 4th inning.
St. Clint down in the dugout, moving around, just not in his usual spot.
Two on, nobody out, and the batter is the third baseman, Will Middlebrooks. How about a ground ball down to Jay Hay right now? Almost got one.
Almost.
Get 3 and get out of the inning. Robbie, catch that? It's only been 149 games, and Robbie still hasn't brought a glove with him. 0-1 pitch to Middlebrooks. Out of play, now strike 2. Well, you look up into the seats here, Bob. You see black and gold everywhere. Last time the Red Sox were here in 2011, there was a different color scheme in the stands, but times have changed. Back in 2011, folks couldn't get tickets at Fenway Park. It was sold out every game, and they would go to road cities. A lot of the fans would, and they had bought up a ton of seats here for that series in 2011, but now it's a whole different story.
Yeah, Red Sox fans aren't as quick, I think, to fly their colors right now. The season they're having, and another thing too about those teams, kind of like the Yankees, they have fans all around.
There's a bouncer to Walker. He'll go to Barnes. That's 2.
That's what you wanted. Maybe not the direction, but you wanted that double play. Charlie got it.
Only 2 this time?
Off the end of the bat. Well done.
Double play, and now Cespedes down at third, so Middlebrooks 0 for 2. There's Yoenis Cespedes. 2 men out for Jackie Bradley Jr. Sunday afternoon against the Cubs. Pirates right now on the top of the 4th. Turned a triple play. Things popped up. Walker going out. Backpedaling. Calling. And the Red Sox strand a man. Charlie Morton's held them scoreless through 4. 2-0 Pirates. For the second, Russell Martin. Boom. Right center field. And that's home run number 10, a 2-run shot. That has changed the game. Giving the Pirates a 2-0 lead. That's where we are right now. And Russ will lead off the bottom of the 4th inning.
Time to add on, don't you think?
Pirates went down 1-2-3 last inning. They did have more traffic on the bases in the second, but time to get some more traffic on now. Charlie Morton, 4 scoreless innings, giving up just 3 hits.
Beside that home run, we only have 1 other base hit.
Well, during the break, Charlie Morton talking to the skipper.
He has 80 pitches now. I mean, that's a lot of pitches in 4 innings when you haven't been out there in a month.
Looked like Clint's hand was on the bullpen phone, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I would say yes, it was.
So he'll call and
it certainly does have it.
There's no action out there right now, but we're just calling to relay a plan. 2 balls and a strike to Martin. Still fairly quiet out there. And Martin, a ground ball to third. Middlebrooks goes on to first. 1 out for the Pirates in the 4th. Well, the Red Sox, defending World Series champs. They have one of the worst records, actually, by defending World Series champ all time. The 1998 Florida Marlins, after winning it in 1997, went 54-108 the next year. And this year, the Red Sox, 66-84, 44% winning percentage.
Now, those two teams have something in common, and the team on opening day has changed a lot.
Yes. It has.
The Marlins, that was really their MO for a long time, was go all in, try to win the World Series, and it did a couple of times, and then they blow it up and start over. I don't think the Red Sox are an organization that you could say blows things up and starts over, but they are going through a retooling. Probably a very smart move on their part.
0-2 to Marte outside. Well, they went from worst to first, back to worst. 2012 worst, 2013 first, and here in 2014 back to the basement. Cespedes, Napoli a veteran.
Cespedes, one of the additions for the future.
Daniel Nava, a guy who's been in their system, continues to develop. And tomorrow, as we look at Jackie Bradley Jr., there'll be a different guy we expect to see in center field. Cespedes' countryman, Rusney Castillo, just participated in the AAA championship game with Pawtucket. Red Sox expected to add a couple more bodies tomorrow from Pawtucket. They like Castillo enough where he is expected to make his major league debut tomorrow night. Mookie Betts has also played the outfield some. And we don't see him tonight. Brock Holt, former Pirate, made his big league debut with the Pirates. He has been playing as a super utility guy for Boston this year. Pretty much anywhere. 3-2, a bouncer to third. Middlebrooks will throw out Marte. 2 men down. Time to show us how you root for the Bucks. Be our AT&T fan photo of the game. Show us the most unique ways you raise the Jolly Roger, fun places you watch the games on Root Sports, or how you display your Pirate pride. Submit a picture via Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto. You'll have a chance to have it shown here during our telecast tonight. So it's hashtag BucksFanPhoto. It'll be time for those kind of hats pretty soon. Before you know it.
Tonight.
Hopefully not too soon.
It's going to be cool by the time this game's over.
I think Davis takes a strike.
At least that's what Glass was telling me. He was expecting a cold night. I always quote what Steve says.
You do?
Yep.
It's news to me.
Well, I have for 20 years. Why change now?
No jacket yet. I don't think he's too afraid of the temperature yet.
He'll be jacket and hat soon. Won't be long.
Did he bring his blaze orange Elmer Fudd hunting cap?
I don't think he has that with him here tonight, but
Sometimes he'll break that out.
It's usually a cold April. You see that one.
Still 1-2 on Davis. Well, like Steve always says, when people compliment him about his book, they say, "Oh, we enjoy the stories in the book," and Steve will always say, "Yeah, and some of them are even true." And now the 1-2. That's so that they're 2-2.
I really expected us to have more than 2 hits by now. I mean, I like the 2-run lead. I'm not complaining, but I thought there would be more. Guess I am complaining, aren't I?
You are. It's okay, though. I'm sure you're not the only one.
A lot of baseball left.
Just look what happened Sunday. I mean, there was really nothing until the 4th when Neal hit a home run, and then the 5th inning, the Pirates exploded for 6 runs on 7 hits. And right down to first base, Ike Davis grounds out to Napoli. Pirates gone in order for the 2nd straight inning. And we go to the 5th when we come back. Thanks for watching and rooting on your Pittsburgh Pirates. All of us at Root Sports and the Pirates appreciate your support. Back here on the North Shore, looking over downtown, 2-0. Pirates as we go to the top half of the 5th inning. Game 1 of a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox. Interleague play here in late September. Charlie Morton starts the 5th. And Christian Vasquez drives this one to the notch. It is off the wall. Marte fields and gets it to second base. And a leadoff double for Vasquez.
And that will instantly get the bullpen into action. And there were guys running to the mound. First pitch, it looks like a breaking ball. I think. No. I don't think it was a breaking ball. That looked like a fastball, at least the velocity at 87. Not a curveball, and right to the notch. If it wasn't in a notch, that was out of here. Only place that ball stays in the ballpark. Just a little bit to the left of the 410 sign.
So double number 8 for Christian Vasquez, leadoff man in scoring position, and the pitcher will try to bunt, and he might have got his finger. Renato might have used part of a finger to bunt with, not intentionally, obviously, but
hey, you can deaden the ball that way.
Steve tell you that?
Yeah. I don't think it hit his finger.
It's his hand.
Yeah, I thought it
fouled it off his knuckles.
It looked like it was going to go off the end of the bat. No, yeah, it definitely hit his hand. Wow.
Dead in the ball, all right.
Yeah, see, the ball didn't go anywhere. And he's fine. Just a little discomfort, probably.
Well, there's the Pirate bullpen. Right-hander Jared Hughes and left-hander Bobby LaFramboise. Double barrel action in the Bucks pen. Nobody out, man at second base. Renato was 0 for 4 in his major league career.
I guess he's not going to be real aggressive with this bunt attempt here.
Got near his hand again. I got near it.
That was close. I think he should just keep both of them down at the knob. What do you think?
I think it hit it again. It got it again. Are you kidding me?
2 for 2. I think he should just leave both hands down at the knob and try to bunt like that.
You know, we've not seen that at all this year.
I mean, one more time, he's out of the game. His right pitching hand's going to be all bruised up.
And he did it again, maybe.
No, he had to get wood.
Well, he struck out. But I don't know. Back to the cage, maybe. Wow. 1 out. Did he come close?
Real close. Did that hit him 3 times? You might be right. It might have hit him 3 times. Just missed him. That missed his hand by an inch.
Look at that. His finger moved. He might have got hit again. I think he got hit again. 1 out, back to the top of the order. Mookie Betts, the second baseman. Curveball for a strike. Betts walked his last time up in the 3rd inning. And he grounded out to 3rd in the 1st, and he hasn't hit his hand once. Bouncer to 3rd base. Josh goes it to 1st and gets Betts. 2 down. Vasquez at 2nd. Couldn't move up.
No bucks. No bucks. No bucks.
Keep that hand out of the way of the baseball.
Xander Bogaerts facing Charlie. You got to wonder now, Bob, about Charlie. He's got 87 pitches. There's action in the bullpen. His spot is due up 2nd in the bottom of the 5th. This might be it for him.
Yeah, I don't think there's any wondering about it.
We can get Bogaerts here and keep the Red Sox off the board for the first 5 innings. That's, I think, as good as anybody would have expected out of Charlie.
Yeah, pretty sure they'll take that.
He's ahead of Bogaerts, 0-2. Bogaerts with an infield single in the 3rd. Charlie struck him out in the 1st. blocked by Russ.
Going for the strikeout pitch on that one. Just missed too badly with it. It's just one a little bit closer than this. You never know. You might get a check swing. Ball bouncing way out in the left-hand hitter's batter's box. Didn't get it.
1-2 to Bogaerts. 2-2. Look at Martin down the stretch. His final 13 games. You wonder how many consecutively he's going to play. He's been trying to get in there every day. Chris Stewart, when he gets in there, hits pretty well. Russ more than likely will have the bulk of the duty, if not all the duty, depending on how things go in the final week. Three and two. Charlie has filled up the count against Xander Bogaerts. Cardinals on the board at home against Milwaukee, 2-0 in the first. Three-two pitch. Struck him out. That's a nice 5 innings for Charlie Morton. He scatters 4 hits, and the Pirates with a 2-0 lead. Nothing as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Anthony Renato for the Red Sox on the hill. The right-hander pitching to Clint Barmas, and he delivers a strike. One of many Jay Hay fans in Pittsburgh now. He gets a good look at the ballpark. Shot into left center field, and Barmas is aboard to start the 5th.
Well, maybe we can get some of those insurance runs that I've been looking for. Lambo will be the pinch hitter. Barmas Took that breaking ball, elevated. Even the breaking balls are elevated. Rips it out there.
Pirates with the leadoff man on. And the batter will be Andrew Lambeau. He'll hit for Charlie Morton. Morton's night is done.
Excellent job, Chuck. He threw a ton of pitches, but so many of them were strikes. It was just a little unlucky that his pitch count got up there as quick as it did. But he did a great job with the location. His stuff looked good. Great movement on the sinker. Very successful outing.
Lambeau pinch hitting. Pirates have done very well in the pinch hitting category this year. Swing and a miss there, and it's 0-2. Pirates are on pace for 60 pinch hits. It would be the most since the 1996 season when they turned in 74 pinch hits. Travis Snyder's had a bunch of them. He's in the lineup tonight, though. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Renato retires Lambeau on 3 pitches. Vasquez.
Right backswing got it.
Yeah, looks like he might have got hit.
I don't know. I didn't see a backswing. Watch again. Watch the bat. See if it comes around and catches him. Just a little bit on the, maybe around where the bicep was. You can only rub it if you're rubbing some dirt into it.
That's a rule.
Yeah.
It's in the rule book. Yeah. Some rule book. Maybe it's in the unwritten rule book. The unwritten rule book's pretty thick, isn't it?
Yep.
A lot of unwritten rules. Josh down to 316. He's 0 for 2. And Bobby Laframboise getting ready to go.
A lot of room out in left center.
Josh takes a fastball, normally hunting the fastball, but that time took it for a strike. Big gap in left center. A lot of room down the line, too. Cespedes has moved over a few steps. Farmers at first base, 1 out. 2-0 Pirates. A 1-1 pitch. Now it's 1-2. Pirates hoping they can get some help tonight from the Diamondbacks of all teams as they host San Francisco later. Giants just 2.5 up in that first wild card spot. This team is focused on the division, but you got to keep an eye on that as well. Harrison pops it up. Josh is going to be 0 for 3.
And fastball way out of the strike zone.
Josh 0 for his first 3 tonight. Now 2 men out. It's a free shirt Friday this Friday, final one of the season. The Bucks hosting the Brewers at 7:05. First 25,000 take home a Pirates t-shirt that was voted on by the fans thanks to FedEx. Block party on Federal Street before the game. Local live music and an alumni appearance. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. It'll be the final series of the regular season. And that's a big one too with the Milwaukee Brewers coming in. Home series. And the Pirates will head out on the road Play 4 games in Atlanta, 3 in Cincinnati, wrapping up on the 28th. And then hopefully the suitcases will be packed, and maybe not. Maybe the suitcases won't have to be packed. Hopefully we'll have a home game.
Yeah, to start the division series.
That'd be great.
Is that what you call the first round of playoffs?
Yes. Be the NLDS.
Okay.
One we were in last year. That one.
I'll get confused once you get by more than one layer of playoffs.
Down to second base goes Barmes. No throw by Vasquez.
Took me years to learn NLCS. Now you got a DS on me. Come on, a 2-out RBI. Pick this run up.
Barmes leadoff base hit, now down at second base.
Feel better going 3-0.
2-1 pitch to Travis Snyder. Up high. 3-1. Snyder hitting in the 2 spot in front of Andrew McCutchen. You've got to figure in the 2 spot you're going to see some pitches to hit in front of Kutch.
Well, we'll see what he decides right here.
And he walked him. Snyder down to first. The Bucks with 2 on and 2 out. See where this pitch was.
It's not ball 4, I can tell you that.
Wow. Caught a break. Travis just wanted to make sure. He paused for just a second. Mike Winters might need a thank you card from Travis Snyder at some point.
Well, it's got Kutch up there with a couple of men aboard. Guy on the mound with, he's given up 9 home runs. About 31 innings.
Kutch has hit 5 straight. To extend that. Ball 1. Kutch has had multi-hit games in 5 of his last 9. Hitting .396 against the American League this season coming into tonight. 1-0 pitch. Popped up. And Mookie Betts under it. And the Pirates are going to strand 2 base runners in the 5th. McCutchen is 0 for 3 tonight. Great shots from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo as we move to inning number 6 at PNC Park. Pirates 2 runs on 3 hits, no runs on 4 hits for the Red Sox. And for the Pirates, Charlie Morton tonight, 5 innings of scoreless baseball. Scattered the 4 hits, struck out 6. Enjoying some time at the Budweiser Bowtie Bar. But 5 of Charlie's 6 strikeouts were swing and miss strikeouts. 3 of them on a sinker, 2 on a curve. A barbecue out there by Manny's.
The Bowtie Bar and the barbecue, a couple places to get warm on a cool evening.
Well, here is Bobby LaFramboise.
It's his 3rd game only as a Bucco. Hitting in 2/3 is it. 3 strikeouts.
Bobby, pretty good job. Started the year with the Mariners. There they are in the Bowtie Bar. Enjoying great views, not only of the city, but of the ballpark, and watching us on Root Sports.
Windows across the back there, looking out over this. Well, it's one of the things that keeps it nice in there when temperatures get cool.
Boys with a pitch outside. Again, he began spring training with the Mariners and then was picked up by the Padres. Spent the year in El Paso, Texas. In AAA with the Padres. Managed to get to the big leagues one time this year with San Diego as the 26th man in a doubleheader, but he never got in the game. This one right at McCutcheon. Daniel Nava is the first out of the 6th inning. If you're French, you know what that means on the back of his jersey, if you speak it. It's the raspberry. And it would be pronounced La Framboise, but he prefers it La Framboise. So La Framboise
gets his man.
Gets his man. And here comes Jared Hughes sprinting in from the dugout. Bullpen.
Of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
My dad's been a Jay Hay fan longer than your dad. That's not the schoolyard argument I remember.
Everybody's a fan now. I think maybe he's just trying to say that he was on the wagon before it was the bandwagon.
Jared Hughes delivers strike 1 to Yoenis Cespedes. LaFramboise got the switch hitter Nava turned around and got him out.
A real solid season for Jared. Good numbers. More sinkers for Boston ahead.
Jared, a ground ball specialist. 1-1 to Cespedes. And a ground ball towards short. Marmus right there. Plants and throws. And Cespedes is out. 2 gone for Boston.
That one is planned. Now they play in DePaul on the ground. The infield does. Barmas, a little bit of a spin. Nice accurate throw. They got a shot there of Walker on that side of the bag also.
Now Hughes will face the first baseman, Mike Napoli.
Walker moves back over the second base side. Still playing in the pole, but in a conventional way.
Jay gets a good hop on the first pitch, and a nice job by Jared Hughes. Took him just 6 pitches, rather 6 in the inning, 4 for Hughes. While Framboise got Nava quickly too.
To you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Bottom of the 6th inning at PNC Park, 2-0 Pirates on the strength of a second inning 2-run home run by Russell Martin, his 10th of the year. Hair-raising experience at PNC Park sometimes. Right colors anyway. Martin getting set to come to the plate. He'll come up after Neil Walker. Walker will lead things off in the inning. Neil's 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the second. And he swings and fouls it off down the left side out of play. .278 overall. He's done a good job in this cleanup spot, claiming it now both from the right-handed side and the left-handed side. Switch hitter looking out, but run out on. Pitch inside for a ball, 1-1. Pittsburgh kid on Sunday with a homer, a double, and a base hit. He had 3 hits, finished a triple shy of the cycle in the finale against the Cubs, a game in which the Pirates came back from a 3-0 deficit to win it 7-3. It was their National League leading 39th comeback win. Walker a huge part of it. 2-1. Now count even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Oh, he's really seen a lot of changeups tonight. Another 20 home runs. More than Bill Mazeroski's
19 home runs he hit in 1958. And Walker bangs this one into the glove of Napoli. Long throw to Renato covering. And Napoli helps out his pitcher. Let's take a look at our AT&T fan photo of the game. Hashtag Bucks fan photo to keep them coming. The Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Ava Barba sending that in to Jolly Roger all the way from France. That is at the head of the Champs-Élysées in the city of Paris.
One of the better ones I think we've got.
That is.
That was nice. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Russ spent some time in Paris as a youngster. He swings at that one and misses. Martin with an 0-1 count on him. Russell, John, Coltrane, Martin. One pitch from Renato. And Russ hits this one up in the air down the left field line. Racing over to the corner is Cespedes. Makes the catch in fair ground for out number 2. Russ is 1 for 3 now. So Renato has settled down rather well since giving up the home run to Martin in the second inning. He's given up just 1 hit since. It was to Clint Barnes last inning. And with 2 outs and the bases empty, he'll face Starling Marte.
I agree that he has settled down, but he is still throwing some pretty hittable pitches. Last inning, there were quite a few. Just seem to be chasing some that are a little bit too far upstairs, and then when we do get a ball that's down in the strike zone, not really doing much with them.
One pitch to Marte. Strike called, 0-2. Bullpens are active now. Drake Britton and Alex Wilson are throwing for Boston. Juan Nieves has some young arms to work with. And there is John Holtzcomb. Pirates really hoping they found a diamond in the rough with this guy. So far, so good.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Nicely done out there. Ready for the 1-2 pitch. Marte looks at it in the dirt.
That's the ball that used to get Marte out all the time. That's where he's made his change in the last couple of months. He's just not chasing that breaking ball, bouncing actually back behind the plate, in between the plate and the catcher. There wasn't even really a check swing at all there.
2-2 is hit well. This one going, and this one is gone. A home run for Starling Marte, and the Pirates lead it 3-0.
And that one was a bomb. That's all the way into the Pirate bullpen, over the top of the Red Sox pen. It looked like finally a pitch down a little bit into the strike zone. In fact, this one probably just a few inches above the knees, and that's what you got to do. I think you got to get this guy down. Swinging at all those borderline letter high pitches.
Always a party for Marte when he does that. And for him, they say C. And that's going to chase the Red Sox starter Anthony Renato.
See where all the pitches have been up, and then he comes down right just in the strike zone above the knees a little bit, goes out of the ballpark.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo showing us the swing.
Disappeared into the night.
Genmar Gomez making the catch.
That was a long one. That's one you can start jogging as soon as it leaves the bat.
So a dozen homers for Marte, 51 RBIs, and he's got 2 hits in the game, 2 for 3. And the Pirates with an extra run on the board now, 3-0. As the Red Sox will bring in a new pitcher, the left-hander Drake Britton taking over for Anthony Renato.
Britton, just 3 ball games. Not much there. Haven't been giving up any hits though. 0.83 opponent batting average. Let's see if we can improve on that number.
There's 4 hits for the Pirates, but 3 runs, all earned. Renato walked 3 and struck out 3 rather. Take a look at our Nissan road ahead as we look at the rest of this interleague series. Clay Buchholz tomorrow night against Francisco Liriano. Buchholz 8-8, Liriano 5-10 and pitching rather well. Brandon Workman on Thursday night against Garrett Cole. Workman just 1-9, and Cole has been outstanding. He'll look for his 10th victory for the Bucs and looking to lower that 3.92 ERA. So Liriano and Cole up next against Buchholz and Workman in the next 2 games. Liriano's been very, very good.
Well, on paper, you look at these pitching matchups in these 3 ball games, you're hoping sweep. Seeing 3 starting pitchers in a row with their ERAs up in the 5s. Got to take advantage of it. These opportunities this time of year, fight for the playoffs.
Gabby Sanchez will pinch hit for Ike Davis. Drake Britton delivers up high for a ball. Britton, 25 years old. Magnolia, Texas is home for him, born in Waco, 6'2" and 215. Gabby with a 238 batting average. Takes ball 2. Britton last pitched on the 9th against Baltimore. Didn't allow a hit over 1 2/3 scoreless innings. He's called up on the 5th of September from AAA. He's got Gabby Sanchez 3-0. Pedro Alvarez visiting with Starling Marte. Pedro unavailable tonight. Say all 3 are out of the zone, huh, Bob?
Yep. Out there, kind of where everything's been tonight.
That was also high, but called a strike. Anthony Renato, 5 2/3. Responsible for all 3 Pirate runs. Gabby pops this one up. Foul ground. Third baseman Middlebrooks makes the catch. That does it for the Pirates in the bottom of the 6th. But Starling Marte adds another run, his 12th home run of the season. And this one was a majestic shot into the back bullpen. Pirates up 3-0.
incredibly talented, and I'm proud to be part of what you do every day.
On this week's Inside Pirates Baseball, we bring you part 2 of Ike Davis mic'd up. Talk to the guys about how many at-bats it takes before a young player just gets it. And recap plays of the week. There's much more to see on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Just 4 hits apiece, but the Bucks with 2 home runs and 3 runs on the board. The youngsters here this Tuesday night. Pirates down the stretch. Final homestand of the regular season. And the new pitcher is Big John Holtzcomb. He fires a strike in on Will Middlebrooks. Gabby Sanchez remains in to play first base.
And that's been the key for him, firing the strikes in.
And the pitch. Just inside with the ball, 1-1.
So far, there's been no problem with any kind of a wildness affecting him at all. 9 strikeouts, just 1 base on ball so far in his 5 games.
Right by him. 96. John Holtzcomb with a 1-2 count on Will Middlebrooks. Popped it fouling out of play.
97.
Yeah, you can get it up there, can't he? That's interesting. Jared Hughes was talking the other day about being familiar with John Holtzcomb a while ago. He said that John's older brother Lincoln roomed with Jared briefly in the minor leagues, and all he did was talk about his younger brother John, who was bigger than him and could throw the ball harder than him. And he strikes out Middlebrooks.
And the Pirate fans are getting to where they really like to see the big right-hander coming into the ball game. Everybody loves the power pitchers. Home run hitters and guys that throw hard.
Now he'll face Jackie Bradley Jr. I read an article about John today comparing him to Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, when he first came up in 2002 with the Angels. They discovered him late.
There's that cut action that time. I haven't seen that until that pitch. Fastballs look like they've been pretty straight. And that one there finally cut for him. Watch it start moving in on the lefty right there. See that like late finish? That's some explosive cut action.
Again, 97. On the corner. 1-2. Count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jackie Bradley Jr. is 0 for 2. Hitting .206 for the Red Sox. Holtzcomb's 2-2. He's got a piece of it. Yeah, I think Holtzcomb becoming this year's cult figure around independent league baseball for sure. And maybe even around Major League Baseball in a way. Literally coming out of nowhere. Diving stop by J-Hay. What do you say? 2 down.
Yeah, you would think that some of the players that are playing right now in those independent leagues with no major league affiliation whatsoever. Look at J-Hay straight. Stop and throw. Are thinking, you know what? Maybe we can do it too. Maybe we can get to the major leagues. All you need is one guy to kind of have that big breakthrough. Gives everybody hope.
Well, it was a scout that the Pirates hired, Mal Fishman, who scours independent league baseball looking for diamonds in the rough, just like Holtzcomb. pounding the table for this guy. So you got to give this guy a chance. Pirates had an opening in Double-A. They put him there. Immediately, Stan Kyles, Double-A pitching coach, saw him and said, "This guy is really good." They sent him to Triple-A after just 10 days. I spoke with Tom Filer. Yeah, Stan's here. He's in the dugout next to Dean Traynor, the Triple-A manager, who's on the staff here in September. But they sent him to Triple-A, and they realized they had something pretty special here, and he just leapfrogged a lot of other prospects. Two balls, one strike to Christian Vasquez. Red Sox catcher fouls it back, and the count is even 2-2. Holtzcomb has at least one strikeout in each of his first 6 appearances to start his career now. After striking out Middlebrooks, this one fouled back. So he has 10 total strikeouts over 5 1/3 innings of work. 5 2/3 innings now with the Bradley ground out to Jay. 2-2 pitch. Count is full, 3-2. David Ortiz in the on-deck circle. He would pinch hit for the pitcher, Drake Britton. Strike 3 called. Got him. 6 major league appearances for John Holtzcomb, all of them scoreless. 7th inning stretch at PNC Park.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you now to stand, follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smiley Cookie, and join everyone watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Great shots from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mo. And we welcome you back to PNC Park with Bob Walker. I'm Tim Neverett. Bottom of the 7th. Pirates a 3-0 lead, and a new pitcher for the Red Sox facing Clint Barmas. It is right-hander Alex Wilson.
Not many innings really for Wilson, just 23. But he's done well. Opposition, 217 batting average. That's always good to look at when it's your stats. Don't give up hits.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch coming to Barmes. He's 1 for 2. And he grounds it right back toward the middle, but it's snared by Wilson. 1 out.
Go ahead.
I'd ask you about Holtzcomb. I mean, again, came out of nowhere. We didn't see him until, earlier this month. What can this guy do? What kind of a weapon might this guy be down the stretch?
Oh, we already seen what kind of weapon he is. I mean, he's kind of the 7th inning guy now. And at least that's the way it's looking to me. I think early on, after just the first couple of appearances, everybody was waiting. Maybe not everybody. I was waiting to see the wildness that is in his history, and we just haven't seen it. He's been throwing a ton of strikes. We just looked at his stats. He's got 1 base on ball so far. So as long as he is throwing the strikes with the quality stuff that he has, I mean, he is a great weapon. It really makes that bullpen, especially the back end of the bullpen, that much stronger.
Top of the pinch hitting, and he hits a comeback. Going to try somebody else in the field. Send you back to our Root Sports studio right now. Rob King has this game break.
Yeah, I want the Brewers to be 3-3 after these next 6 games, but if they win tonight, what's that make, 2.5 behind the Cardinals? See, the Cardinals, we can't do anything about them. We had our chance, missed it, but we do get the Brewers. So we need the Brewers to take care of the Cardinals for us, because we don't get to play them, and then we'll take care of the Brewers ourselves.
Josh Harrison looking to take care of business. Slow start for him tonight, 0 for 3.
If that doesn't happen, then of course, you have to eventually kind of make sure you focus in on the wild card. But right now, as long as there's some kind of hope, which I think there is over these next 6 days, I think you got to look division, because that's the playoffs, the division series. You got to get in there, try to avoid that 1-game play-in type scenario that we were successful at last year.
Betts throws it away. That goes up into the seats, so Josh will get another base. Should be a base hit and an error.
Have an opportunity at another run, and a runner in scoring position.
Josh will head down to second base. Looked like Harrison was going to beat this one out anyway.
Vasquez is jogging over there, but it just doesn't get over there far enough to get this ball before it hit the fence. And it's his job to back up this throw and keep it out of the dugout. He couldn't quite get there.
So there's a throwing error by Betts. It will be a base hit for Harrison. He'll go down to second on Betts' throw. Well, pitching change again. Red Sox going to a left-hander. I'll tell you about him when we come back. Lead with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Nemeth. Robbie Ince-Mikowski here as well. 5 hits for the Pirates. For the Red Sox, they've had just one runner reach past second base. That was Yoenis Cespedes in the 4th inning. The starter, Anthony Renato, went 5 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs on 4 hits. And for the Pirates, Martin and Marte each had a home run. Martin's good for 2 runs. Marte's a solo shot. And Charlie Morton, who had to start tonight, 5 scoreless innings. He would strike out 6. And the new pitcher is left-hander Tommy Lane.
A lefty specialist. He's got 25 games, but just 18 innings. Comes in, pitch a lot of times just a third of an inning, maybe 2/3. Face a lefty. That's probably his job here. He doesn't get Snyder and Kutch gets up there. There's a right-hander in the bullpen.
1 ball, no strike pitch to Snyder. Wait. Snyder is 0 for 2 with a walk. Batting .259. Got Harrison out there with 2 outs at second base. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, really throws across his body, steps over toward the first baseline a little bit. Really pronounced when you see him drill that outside corner like he did on the last pitch. Much front foot. And then he has to open up real quick to try and deliver the baseball. If you drew a line between this foot that's on the rubber and his plant foot, the line would go somewhere behind Snyder.
Three and 1. News from another National League Central game. Cincinnati's in Chicago tonight. The Cubs with a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 6th. Jake Arrieta for the Cubs. No hitting the Reds through 6. Take a look at the feet. Now the count is full.
See where the step is, and then he's got to come back over the top, get that front side open very quickly because he's so closed up when he plants that foot.
2 outs and the payoff pitch from Lane. A base hit. He's now 1 for 4 tonight. His average back to .317. Pair of lefties getting set to go. Justin Wilson and Tony Watson. In the 3-2. And this one lobbed into left center field. That one is down for a hit. J.A. around third. He'll score. Travis Snyder picks up a 2-out RBI, and the Pirates with a 4-0 lead. RBI number 35 for Snyder.
Nice job on that ball. Was actually off the plate a little bit. Able to make contact. And with a runner on second base, and that's all you're trying to do there. Cut down the swing. Just get it out there somewhere. Maybe you'll find a hole with it. And you just kind of bloop that ball in. Had a nice insurance run.
Nieves back out to visit with Lane. Lane, the 29-year-old left-hander from the St. Louis suburb of St. Charles, Missouri.
Surprised they're leaving him out there. The right-hander's been ready.
Yeah, they've had a man ready.
Maybe getting him ready for Walker. They want Walker to hit left-handed. I don't know.
So it's McCutchen time now. He's 0 for 3. Swings and misses at strike one. He's got fans everywhere. McCutchen and the rest of the Pirates team will be making a surprise visit tomorrow to a local elementary school. Not going to tell you which one, so it'll be a surprise. But Roberto Clemente Day will be celebrated tomorrow by the Pirates team. And this one is going up into the seats. And it's an event that been to every year, and the Clemente family is there. And one lucky school will have the entire team there tomorrow, including Andrew McCutchen. Clemente will be there. Also Roberto Jr., Luis, and Ricky. Enrique will be here for the second year in a row. No balls, 2 strikes to Andrew McCutchen. About his throw to first. Bert Badenhop ready to go. Looked like he was ready a while ago, as Bob mentioned. One ball, 2 strikes.
What do you bring him in now, though? If he doesn't get McCutchen, you got to bring him in and spin Walker around, hit left-handed. I don't understand why they don't have a pitcher McCutchen, to be honest with you.
Catch, swings and strikes out.
That's why.
It's been a tough night for Andrew McCutchen. He has struck out twice. He's 0 for 4, but the Pirates pick up another run and lead 4-0 after 7. Take a look at our day automotive this day in Pirates history. This date, 1962, the Bucs beat the Giants 6-4 in extra innings. Willie Mays tied the game at 4 in the 8th with a 3-run home run off Elroy Face. Bill Mazeroski led off the 10th with a single. Then after a sacrifice bunt, Danny Murtaugh went to the bench and sent a young outfielder by the name of Willie Stargell up to the plate to make his debut. Willie struck out, but the next batter, Smokey Burgess, came through with the winning hit, a walk-off 2-run home run off the Giants' Stu Miller. This day in Pirates history. Gregory Polanco out in right field. Rookie out there to play defense late. Tony Watson, the left-hander, comes in to face the Red Sox in the 8th.
Always a pleasure to look at Tony's numbers.
First appearance for the All-Star Watson. He'll face a pinch hitter in the 9 spot, Jamal Weeks. Brother of Brewers second baseman Ricky Weeks. And the pitch is in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Weeks had been with Baltimore. We saw him with the Orioles earlier this year. Came over on the 30th of August. So had to clear waivers in order to be acquired that late. One ball and 2 strikes from Watson facing Jamal Weeks. For a couple of years, Weeks was the primary second baseman for the Oakland A's, 2011, 2012. And he hits this one in the air to right center. Over there is Polanco. Over the shoulder catch for Gregory. 1 out.
The long legs just kind of eating up ground easily going after that ball.
Saw that Washington Nationals score. They're in the 9th inning leading Atlanta 3-0. Nationals can pop some champagne corks tonight. If they can complete the victory, they'll clinch the National League Eastern Division.
With plenty of time.
Yep. And also, baseball on the Beltway is very good. Baltimore leading Toronto 7-2. The Orioles can do the same tonight with a win. Each one of them had a magic number of 1 heading into action tonight. Mookie Betts, 1-0 pitch, 2 balls, no strikes. '71, 1979 Orioles Pirates World Series. How about 2014? Pirates have had good luck against the Orioles. They're 2-0.
That would be pretty special. Go against the Orioles again.
2-1 pitch to Betts. In there for a strike. And speaking of the '79 series, our best going out to our colleague here at Root Sports, Kent Tekulve, recent recipient of a heart transplant. Teague's doing well.
Can't wait to have you back, Teague.
Betts down on strikes. 2 out for the Red Sox in the 8th. Teague looked good in that cap. So 2 men out, nobody on. The batter will be Xander Bogaerts. That's the circa 1979 uniform. Ricky down in the Lexus Club. I think Ricky might lead the league in old Pirates uniforms.
He's got them all. Got the old red, white, and blue ones.
Well, Tony just cutting up Xander Bogaerts right now. Bogaerts had a base hit in the 3rd inning, but he was struck out twice. Now there's Ricky with the solid gold on tonight. Oh, 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. San Francisco and Arizona underway in Phoenix. Giants 2.5 up on the Pirates for that first wild card spot. balls and 2 strikes. To left field and a base hit for Bogaerts. 2-out single for the Red Sox shortstop. He's the only Boston player with multiple hits.
For the Red Sox, number 5, Alan Gregg.
At that 4-run lead. 2-out single really doesn't change much.
Now Watson will face a familiar foe, Alan Craig, formerly the Cardinals. Craig with the Red Sox, a 119 hitter. 237 with the Cardinals. He had 7 home runs with St. Louis. Fouls the first pitch away. Last year he had an absolutely incredible season with the Cardinals, who also had an incredible year. And Craig led the civilized universe in batting average with runners in scoring position. At PNC Park, 284 hitter, 3 home runs. Strike 2. Last season, 97 runs batted in, and just 13 home runs. He had a lot of doubles.
Well, that's a
Base
hitting
hits.
with runners in scoring position that you were referring to. Really shows up there. Don't have many home runs, but almost 100 RBIs. That's knocking a lot of guys in off the off second and third.
He wasn't always healthy. He missed some time, but helped to be one of the key cogs in getting the Cardinals to the World Series to play the Red Sox. Red Sox would win. That's a diving attempt by Jay, and down the line. Throw goes into second base. They got a chance. And Craig is safe. Well, the ball got there, and I'm not sure if Walker realized where Craig was.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be out easy. I don't know what happened. Maybe the throw was wider off the bag than we thought.
Jay might be shaken up a little bit. Looked like Craig was going to run himself out of the inning here.
Yeah, I thought right here, I thought, okay, inning over. He's out. No, Walker didn't go for the tag. See how he kind of hesitated?
Jay got up and kind of went back down. Maybe landed awkwardly. First time in the game that the Red Sox have had more than one hit in an inning. With 2 outs, Bogaerts at third and Craig at second base. Yoenis Cespedes will come up and face Watson now. Cespedes is 1 for 3. He had a double that bounced over the left field wall in the 4th inning. John Axford is up alongside Justin Wilson. Watson got the pinch hitter Weeks to fly to right field and struck out Mookie Betts. Base hit for Bogaerts and a double for the pinch hitter Alan Craig. Well, even though the Pirates are up 4-0, a little uneasiness on the part of the fans right now.
Yeah, base hit cuts the lead in half, then now it's a ball game. I know how they feel. All the same uneasiness.
Two and one. Cespedes at the plate. And Napoli on deck with two men on. Bogarts at third, and at second base, Alan Craig. Two Red Sox runners in scoring position. Watson's 2-1. Right there for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 96 miles an hour on the fastball from Tony Watson. Two balls, 2 strikes to Yoenis Cespedes. Big pitch. Red Sox strand 2. One of 3 against the Red Sox in interleague play. And we invite you to get on board with Pirates baseball in 2015. The Pirates are now accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships. Get access to exclusive events, the best locations and savings, and customizable memberships. Plus, 2015 full season deposits receive 2014 postseason priority. For more information, go to pirates.com/membership. What a big pitch by Tony Watson to retire Yoenis Cespedes with a strikeout. And the Red Sox left 2 on after the pinch hit double by Alan Craig. And now the Pirates will have Neil Walker leading off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Stories tonight as Charlie Morton went 5 scoreless in his first start in a month. And Walker bangs this one toward the right field corner. Off Uehara. And Neil Walker in with a 1-pitch stand-up double. Koji Uehara was greeted rather rudely by Neil Walker, but that's okay from the Pittsburgh kid.
I definitely hit a spot where he was trying to throw with that fastball. Wanted to go down and away and throw it up around the letters. Really, that's where they've been having a lot of success tonight, throwing fastballs, but not that one. Walker jumping all over that high heater.
Double number 25 for Neal. So 20 home runs, 25 doubles. Also Martin with his 10th home run. Takes the ball in the dirt. Christian Vasquez with the block. Kept Walker at second base. Numbers on Koji Uehara.
26 saves, 31 chances.
Uehara closed out the World Series last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alan Craig remains in the game in right field. Daniel Nava out. That was a straight change. So Russ, who has been there many times before, and gave Vasquez plenty of time to gather himself. Two balls and a strike. Tony Watson gave up a couple of hits but struck out 2. Strike to Rush. 2-2 the count. Leadoff double for Walker. 1 for 3 tonight for Neal. He has walked and scored. Came home on Martin's home run in the 2nd inning. That had made it a 2-0 game. Starling Marte's solo homer in the 6th made it 3-0. Pirates added a 2-out run in the 7th. Martin held up. Mark Melancon warming up. You'll see Clint Hurdle go to him in non-safe situations because he wants his 2 best, Watson and Melancon, to close out games.
Yeah, every game is precious. Every win, every W. Taking any chances.
Let's check in with Rob King. He's got a game break.
Tim, thanks very much. In Atlanta, 3-0 Nationals. Drew Storen facing Justin Upton. He gets him for 7 save. The Nationals win. They get their 2nd NL East title in the last 3 years, so they're in the playoffs. The Braves have lost 5 in a row. They're 6 back in the loss column of the Pirates, guys. They are running out of time in the wild card race, but Washington has clinched tonight.
Yeah, the Braves have lost 8 of their last 9, and they've been shut out in 5 of the last 16 ball games. The Braves are fading fast, and congratulations to the Nationals. First team to clinch a division this year.
Hope we see you somewhere.
The NLDS or CS?
Somewhere. Either one of those that end in an S.
It'd be nice to have a champagne celebration for the Pirates while in Atlanta next week. That's possible. Be nice.
Yeah, we were supposed to have one there one time and it didn't work out.
I know you remember it. Trying to put those days behind us, Bob.
They're behind us. They're way back there. Ancient history.
One ball, 2 strikes. Walker off of second base. Marte had a 2-strike pitch that he could hit last time up. Uehara checks Walker. Now the pitch. Marte goes down on strikes. Uehara's come back with a couple of strikeouts. And Gabby Sanchez will be the hitter. He came in for Ike Davis in the 6th inning. And the Red Sox went to a left-hander, Drake Britton, out of the bullpen. And the dirt for Gabby for ball one. Pitch upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. The Bucks beating up the champion. I don't know what the S is, do you? Champion Sox, maybe.
Yes, is the last letter of one of those series we're going to play. NLCS, DS. It's a good luck S.
It's a good luck one.
It's kind of the cousin of the Z. The Zoltan Z, the S.
Yeah, if you look at it that way,
it's
sure.
kind of a curvy Z.
Is that how you learn your alphabet?
No, I never learned it. Still working on it.
You know how many letters are in it?
20-something.
Close enough. 2-2. Gabby won't chase it. Let it go upstairs, and it's 3-2. Uehara with 2 outs. Walker leadoff double at second base, and Gabby looking to get Walker in for another 2-out run. Strike 3 called. Uehara strikes out the side after giving up the double on the first pitch to Walker. On to the 9th inning. Pirates 4, Red Sox nothing. We'll check out the Pirates clubhouse, hear from the manager Clint Hurdle, and talk to the heroes or hero of this ball game. That's Pirates postgame presented by Allegheny Health Network, coming up right after the ball game's conclusion. Buccos are 3 outs away from their 80th win of the year. Ready to wave those around. They're doing it now, but raising it is the pastime around here. Mark Melancon hoping to shut the door on the Red Sox. Other times during the course of the season, a 4-run lead, we wouldn't see Mark, but
different time here. You get down to the end of the season, you're in the hunt. Really, even kind of more than in the hunt right now. We're As you stand, we're in the wild card, so you can't allow anything to slip out of your hands. And really, the save rule is just some made-up, arbitrary number anyway, right? I mean, what's so magical about 3 runs? Just a number somebody picked out of the air when they invented a save statistic. So, 2-run lead, 4-run lead, 3-run lead. Hey, you finish the ball game.
It's all about wins now.
Yep. I mean, that's an actual stat. It's a win that ball game, that gets you in the playoffs. That maybe gets you a World Series ring.
Get to the playoffs, get in, you never know. Anything can happen. 0-2 pitch to Napoli. Struck him out. Nope, foul ball. Russ didn't hang on. So Napoli's still in there. In the dirt. Russ actually did hang on. Because it was in the dirt. Napoli will get another pitch.
And another one.
Strikes. Yeah, another one in the dirt. Trying to get that chase down low. He's confused, or maybe he's coming over to the other side slowly. Now he's out. Napoli strikes out, 1 gone in the 9th for Boston.
He didn't tick this one, missed it clean, so it didn't matter if it bounced or not. All you got to do is tag him after it hit the dirt.
So 1 gone. Pirates pitching has struck out 11 Red Sox tonight. Will Middlebrooks takes strike 1. Red Sox came into this game tonight winning 3 of their last 4. They had a good series against the Kansas City Royals, but they're 5-7 in their last 12 games. Pirates trying to push them to 5-8 and 13. And how many times have Pirates pitchers tonight been pitching ahead 0-2? And these Red Sox hitters who do take a lot of pitches. Charlie Morton went 5 shutout innings tonight. Bobby LaFramboise pitched a third of an inning. Jared Hughes 2/3 of an inning. John Holscomb continues his run. He had a perfect inning with 2 strikeouts. Tony Watson struck out 2. Another scoreless inning. And this one will tailor the gap in right center. And it's cut off by McCutchen. And Middlebrooks in with a double.
Nobody hurt, just ignore him. With the score being what it is, it doesn't matter if it's a single, double. He could have hit this ball in the river. You act the same. You just ignore him now and go after the hitters.
Double number 10 for Middlebrooks. Well, Jackie Bradley Jr. center fielder up. Just inside with the ball. In Chicago, they're through 7. Into the bottom of the 7th now. Cubs hitting. Jake Arrieta still with a no-hitter going against Cincinnati. 1-1 to Bradley. St. Louis still leading Milwaukee 2-1. They're in the top of the 7th at Busch Stadium. Gerardo Parra's home run has provided the only Milwaukee score. One pitch to Jackie Bradley Jr. 2-1 now. Giants and Diamondbacks scoreless in the second in Phoenix. Vance Worley, who sat this one out tonight. Charlie Morton got the start instead. Vance now be at the ready. And I think the questions after the game now will be what's next for Charlie Morton. Will he start Sunday against Milwaukee? Ground ball to the right side. Walker diving stop to his feet. Got it. Marvelous play by Neil Walker.
A very good play. The quickness that he recovered, got to his feet, the exchange into his throwing hand, that's what made it for him. I mean, it's a good job getting to the ball. But watch how quickly he was able to get back and get the ball on its way to Gabby. Quickly to his feet, quick exchange, and then even though it was a short throw, he had something on it. Got it there fast. One more out.
Christian Vasquez with a runner at third, 2 down. Strike call. Marte with a home run tonight. His 12th. Russell Martin with his 10th. The Orioles have now clinched. They beat Toronto, so it's baseball and bubbly on the Beltway tonight as the Nationals and Orioles have clinched their respective divisions. David Ortiz, who'd been on deck, has not been up tonight. 1-1. And a ground ball to Walker. This should do it. And the Pirates take game 1 against the Red Sox. Win number 80. Mark Melancon wraps it up. 6 pitchers combined to shut out the Red Sox. It's the first home shutout since the 12th of June when Edinson Volquez had 7 scoreless innings and the Bucks would shut out the Cubs. 5th shutout of the season.
A very successful return for Charlie coming out here. And I was wondering how good that control was going to be. Well, the control was fantastic. He just filled up that strike zone early, and I don't know if you could ask for any more from him. And we got some home runs. We were looking for some long balls. We got a couple of those, and also got the win. And that's the main thing. Got that W. Got to keep on marching.
Let's take a look at the updated standings to the moment. The Pirates now 3 back of the Cardinals, pending the outcome of that game with Milwaukee, which is still 2-1. Cardinals in the 7th. So the Bucks 80 and 70, a season best 10 games over 500. Let's send you downstairs right now where Rob King is standing by.
Thank you, Tim. Look forward to Bob coming down here. This was also the 10th ever meeting between the Red Sox and the Pirates in regular season play. Of course, they met in the 1903 World Series, the first ever World Series. Those two teams now 5-5 after the Buccos 4-0 victory today. And large thanks to Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton coming back pitching his first game since August 15th, when finally the lingering effects of a sports hernia and a hip issue sidelined him for a month. He's been pitching some rehab outings, some side sessions here for the Pirates, simulated games. Tonight, the real thing, and he pitched extremely well. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, no runs. Picks up his 6th victory of the season. He's been very good here at PNC Park. A 2.58 ERA heading into play tonight. That ERA will go down as Charlie Morton helps the Buccos to the 4-0 victory. Coming up next on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network. We will have extended highlights of this game, postgame reaction from the Pirates clubhouse, where Robbie Inzbikowski is going to work. Also, Bob Walk will join us for analysis of tonight's game. We'll also have highlights from around the league and updated look at the standings. All that and more coming up next on Pirates Postgame.